Perfect. So another Kunik member sent in a question saying, we have three kids, 5, 3, and 6 months. Obviously, the 6-month-old isn't doing much of anything. We're wondering how our 5 and 3-year-olds are great at imaginary play. I'm assuming that also means independent. She said they play together all the time. They don't really play independently. Is that a problem? Do you recommend that siblings, this is actually a two-part question, so I'm going to ask the first part first. Do you recommend that siblings also learn to play independently of each other, or is it okay for their independent playtime to be with each other but without us?
I think both are great. So this question comes up a lot, and I think time for siblings to play together, that's amazing, right? If your kids are getting along and you're not constantly having to intervene for kind of conflict mediation, then that's awesome, and definitely don't interrupt that. And at the same time, I still think that there are, from a developmental perspective, there are specific benefits to actual independent play. And so you might call this like quiet time, or you might call it something else, but you could just have like 30 minutes a day where they go to their rooms and then they have some time with themselves, because a big part of it to me is about emotional regulation and processing. And so the play piece is great, and part of that is when a child's left alone, then it's like all the stuff that they experience throughout the day, anything they're feeling will come up in that space alone, right? And just
Mm,
like many of us love alone time as grown-ups, right? And it's kind of the same thing for kids. It's like it's a chance to like reset, and it's less important now in some ways because kids are in school all day and being
right.
constantly stimulated. But still, I think it's great for kids to just learn that as a skill, because I also talk about in life, there are going to be times for every single one of us where we're isolated or we're lonely or we have to spend more time alone than maybe we'd like to. And the skill of being able to sit down in a room by yourself and never be bored and feel full in your own presence is a huge life skill, right? That many people would say is lacking even in the millennial generation, right? And so and that's only getting more and more and more with the way children are being raised today. So giving them that skill of being able to play alone is a huge life skill that will really pay out for the rest of their lives.
Interesting. Yeah. The minute you said be alone in a room, your mind goes to, well, if I have my iPhone, which is not the
Right,
answer at
exactly.
all, but that's where your mind goes.